Okay, so class, today we are going to be using prefixes and suffixes to determine word meaning. Now, what do we mean by prefix and suffix? What do we mean by that? Does anyone want to guess at what does prefix mean? I know.
It's a word that is added before the root word.
Before a root word. Pre. Okay. So we have a root word or a base word, and that pre is something that happens. Okay. Pre is before. The suffix is what happens afterwards. When you put all that together, it can actually change the meaning of words. So, what does the prefix dis mean? Yes, go ahead, Ed. You're welcome.
The prefix is means something. Or disagree or no.
Anybody? Wait, that's good. I understand disagreement. You're looking at that, but what did we when we look at disagree? What do we look at? What does dis mean? If you agree with somebody, okay, but if you disagree with somebody, that is the opposite. Exactly. Dis means the opposite. To agree with somebody, you and I are on the same page. I disagree with you, totally opposite. No, you're wrong, I'm right. Okay, at least that's what I would say. You probably would be right and I probably would be wrong. So it is an actual, it changes the meaning of the word. So today we're going to identify prefixes and suffixes. We're going to break words into parts. We're going to use words to determine their meaning. Okay, so we're going to break words into parts and we're going to use those parts to determine their meaning. So right now on your page, I would like you to write these words: prefix, base word, and suffix. Now I want you to write the definition of those three words on your paper. As you're writing, the prefix is the beginning, okay, of a word. The suffix is the end of the word, and you have that base word, that middle part. That is your main part of the word. Now, keep writing. We're gonna change over here, and we're gonna be looking at the next thing I want you to write are your common prefixes. These are the most common prefixes. So write un, re, dis, pre. So write those four prefixes and then write what those four prefixes mean. And if we do go a little bit quick and you miss a word or two, leave yourself some room. We'll have time for you to look at the slides later and to get the rest of the writing down. So let's look at that first prefix, un. Can anybody use that prefix un in a word? Give me a word that starts with un.
Verified?
Unverified. Wow, verified. That outstanding. Give me a 5 on verified. That's a good word. I like that. I was going to go something easy, but verified. When you verify something, you check to make sure that it's real or true, right? And correct. Unverified would mean what? Go ahead, Ava. Yeah, the opposite. You haven't verified it. You haven't checked if it's true. Okay, somebody threw it out there and you didn't verify it. It's unverified. Okay. All right, so somebody give me a word with re. Yes, ma'am. Hmm? Reread. There we go. When you reread a passage, remember when we were doing our state testing just the other day, I said, read it 2 or 3 times. Make sure you understand it. Reread. That means to do it again. Read it a second time. How about dis? Give me a word with dis. Well, dislocated. Absolutely. Now, a lot of people think dislocated with an E, but it could also be dislocated as far as where you're living. You've moved out from where you're supposed to be. You've been dislocated. Okay. I mean, my elbow is supposed to be right here, but if all of a sudden this part of my arm is up here, hanging at this, then it's been dislocated. It's the opposite. And then free. Free. Sir. Prepared. Okay, prepared is more of a base word, but okay, that is a. How about preemptive? You have that beginning, something that comes before. What's the first part of the opening of the Constitution? It's called the preamble. Okay, and in the preamble, that's when they start doing all the words, okay, they're gonna ramble on with all the words and everything. Well, you have that beginning part, pre. Okay. Now, those are our common prefixes. Now let's look at common suffixes. What are our common suffixes? Blah. Now, these are the parts that are at the end of the word. So full, F-U-L. Can somebody give me a word that has full? Ma'am, go ahead.
Thankful.
Thankful. That means you're full of thanks. Okay. Wonderful. You're full of wonder. Okay. How about less? Less. Sir.
Hopeless.
Helpless. I'm without help. You know what? You're without help. You're helpless. All right. How about I know again. Go ahead. Teacher. Okay. A person who teaches. Lawyer. Someone who teaches law. Somebody who is in law. Okay. And then ment. M-E-N-T. Go ahead.
Argument.
Argument. Okay. That's an action or a result. Argument means you're arguing. Okay. So argument. So let's look at the word reusable. Reusable. What is the? I always want to start with the prefix, but what is our root word that we're starting? We start with what word? Go ahead, Zach. Use. I know there's no E there, but it's US. Use. Okay. So when you use something, you're using it, right? You're using it for what it is. Now, the prefix is re. That means what? You're using it again. Okay, reuse. Okay. Is this reusable? Yes. Yes, it is. What is its use? To hold water. When you empty it, you can refill it. It has a reuse. You can refill it. And it is reusable. Able means it can be. So it can be used another time. It can be used again. Do you see how those 3 parts, the prefix, the base word, and the suffix all go together? Now, break those words into parts. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do this on your own, and then I want you to compare with your partners, with your people. But break these words: unhappy, careless, preview, and then the one that you have to remember is disagreement. Because disagreement has both what? What does disagreement have that those others don't have? Yes, ma'am. It has both a prefix and a suffix. Okay, it has both a prefix and a suffix. The other ones either have a prefix or a suffix. This one has both. So you're going to write down what is the prefix or the suffix, prefix and suffix, of the root word that's in there, and what does it mean? What does the prefix or the suffix mean? I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. If we finish before then, we'll move on. So you'll write the word down, unhappy. Then write what the prefix means, or write what the prefix is, and then what does it mean? Very nice. I had somebody answer it exactly perfect. Unhappy, prefix is un. What does that mean? It means not happy. That's how you write it, not happy. One of these words is one of my favorite words, preview. When you go to the movie theater, I don't like to be late, so I like to see the trailers. I like to see the preview of movies coming up in the future. It's one of my favorite parts about going to the theater. My least favorite is how expensive it is now. When I went and saw Star Wars 10 times one summer, I spent $2.75 for the real showing. You get a bargain at $1.50 to go into a movie. Now it's almost $20, $22 to go into a movie. But the previews are what's worth it. You get to view the movie before it comes out. What preview? Wow. I love them. All right, so who would like to tell me about Careless? Who wants to tell us about Careless? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. How about careless?
The suffix is less means without care.
All right, so the suffix is less and the word means without care. Absolutely. How, a preview, I already said before, give you ahead of time. How about disagreement? This is a toughie. Disagreement. To break it down, the prefix dis, what does that mean? Go ahead, ma'am.
Is for opposite.
Opposite. So agree is the root word, okay? Dis, the opposite, so they're not agree. And then what is the suffix? What is the suffix in this word? Go ahead again, please.
Opposite
Well, no, the suffix is
action or result.
action or result. So you have you have a disagreement. When you see that, a disagreement, you can picture two people going at each other, disagreeing. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm right. You're wrong. Back and forth and back and forth. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Yeah, well, here's preview before. The view is the base word. Okay, so we have preview. Pre is before, and the base word is view. So to view beforehand. Here's what I'm going to have you do. Read the paragraph. The careless scientist had to redo the experiment because the results were incorrect and incomplete. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the words that have prefixes and suffixes, okay? And I want you to break them apart. Write your prefix, your base word, or your base word and your suffix, or both. Break them down and then write the meaning of the word. So we're going to look at these words. I will do the first one because it's easy. I get to choose because I'm the teacher. The careless. Already had it. What is the suffix? Less. Right? The root word is care. Less means? Less means? Without. Okay? So without care. That means, okay. Oh, so it breaks. Big deal. So I didn't write down the data correctly, so it was close. Who cares? He was careless in his experiment and had to redo it. So write down the words that have suffixes, prefixes, and your root word, break them down and give you the meaning of those words. All right. So to help out, what I'll do is I will go here. And in white, we add careless. What's the next word I can do? What? Redo. Outstanding. A lot of people skip over that one. Redo it because it's so small. Give me another one. Sir. Experiment. Okay. Give me another one. Results. Yeah, let's try it. Just because it has already in the beginning, it might not be, but actually, I really hope yes. Things like that would be a little more difficult. Let's do it. What was it? Incomplete. All right. Okay. Incorrect. Standing. All right. That should be good. That gives us 5 of them. Write down the word. Write down the base word and your prefix and your suffix. Okay. Hope you used a lot of these words in your state testing this week. Used a lot of prefixes and suffixes and made them fancy words. You know, kind of words that you buy a thesaurus and you look up the words, a thesaurus, like thesaurus, just plain. Some of them $5 words. Very nice. Down 5 words. Break them down. While you're writing, we already talked about careless, but how about redo? Redo. So redo, I'm going to use red now. So I'm going to circle the base word, do. Now, experience. That means to experience something, okay? To do something, to experience. Correct. The last one, complete. Now in blue, let's look at our prefix or our suffix. We have re. Meant. In. And in. Now that we have broken them down, we have our prefixes, suffixes, and our root word. Now look at what does the prefix and the suffix mean. So re means, somebody tell me what re means. Go ahead, ma'am.
Again.
Again, okay, again. And the root word is do. So the careless scientist had to do again. Oops. The experiment. What does meant mean? What does the suffix meant mean?
Action and result.
Action, okay? So you have that experience and you're going to do it again, okay? Or you're going to do the action. Had to redo the action of experience. That's a weird way of thinking it, huh? Never thought of it that way. Because the results were incorrect. What does in mean? Yes, sir. Not. Because the results were not correct. And not complete. Not complete. So you see how that changes the meaning of the words. So this is what you're going to do. On your paper, find a space. You're going to draw a box on your paper. And this is what I want you to do. Let's put it on the board here. You're to identify the prefix or suffix of these words. And then explain how it changed the meaning. How it changed the meaning of the word. Okay, so write redo and hopeful. Identify its prefix and suffix. And then explain how it changed its meaning. So I'm going to open it up. Any questions at this time? No questions? We all understand what prefixes and suffixes are? Now, next week, when you're doing your write-ups, especially on your performance task, on the math test, and you have to do those write-ups to explain what's going on, try and fit in a prefix or a suffix. I challenge you to increase your words by using prefixes and suffixes. Use them correctly. If you don't know, then don't do it, but try and use them. Okay? So work on your exit tickets and then we'll get those when you leave.